What's going on, guys? Tony with Sterling Cards here, and today we're talking about a tale as old as time, and that is buying and selling and making money with sports and Pokemon cards. If you're passionate about collecting, this is a chance to turn your hobby into a lucrative side hustle or a full-time business. So sit back, relax, and we're just gonna get right into it. All right, listen, before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the card flipping game, we gotta start with the basics. And the first thing you guys gotta know is research. And listen, I can't tell you guys what to buy, sell, and trade. I just can't do that. But whatever that is, you guys gotta understand the market trends, popular sets and players, and grading standards. Great tools for stuff like this are online forums, private Facebook groups, YouTubers sometimes, kind of, not really, but there are so many tools out there that you guys can utilize to gather information on virtually whatever you want in the hobby. Staying up to date and making moves based on that information is probably the cornerstone of this whole video. Secondly, you gotta build your portfolio wisely. Investing in cards that have a lot of demand like Charizard or Patrick Mahomes that have potential for future growth like WotC Pokemon or young rookies and stars, or even cards that you can find at a nice price and flip fairly easily, those are the cards you want to be looking for. And also for that last part, do not check eBay. Just straight up, do not check eBay. You will not find the best prices there. I promise you. But yeah, build it wisely. Don't be dumb. And now that you're equipped with the basics, now we can get on to buying strategies. My personal favorite part, because I love just spending money recklessly. The first way to do it is attending card shows and conventions. These are gold mines for finding rare and valuable cards. I can't tell you the amount of times I found really valuable cards in someone's dollar bin or like a $5 box when in reality they're worth like 50 to 100 bucks. It's crazy. And also you can pay cash for a lot of this stuff too. And people tend to have a little bit more wiggle room if you do pay cash. And I think one of my personal favorites of attending these shows and conventions is you get to meet the people. As corny and cliche as that sounds, making connections is such a foundational brick in building up a side hustle or business in the hobby. Knowing people, being able to acquire inventory for a little bit cheaper because you know them, and being able to liquidate inventory a little bit faster because you know someone that might want it is so crucial. So don't be afraid. Go up, talk to someone, talk about your favorite player, talk about the inventory that they have, whatever it is, just get to know the person. I mean, meeting people's fun, at least for me. The second type of way to buy is online marketplaces. Examples could be eBay, TCG Player, Facebook Marketplace. And what's nice about eBay and TCG Player is those platforms have a really wide net, right? They have a lot of reach when it comes to buying and selling cards. But from personal experience, smaller marketplaces tend to yield better results. When there's less people in a group, I feel like there's usually a little bit less of a demand, so people are really willing to work with you on prices. So the trade-off is there's a lot less inventory to look at, but I feel like there's a little bit more flexibility than normal. And make sure to set up alerts for specific cards that you want to buy or bid on or whatever. That way, when the time comes, you can just pounce on the deal, get the card, you're in and you're out. One crucial aspect of cards that everyone should be really well versed in is grading and grading standards, whether you grade or not. And if you've been in this hobby for quite some time, you probably already understand this, but if you're a little bit newer, this skill comes in due time. But understanding the importance of the grading process and the condition of the card itself is really important. And if you don't know what grading is at all, that's perfectly fine. There are tons of great YouTube videos out there explaining what the grading system is, what the companies are, all that good stuff. But to water it down offensively, companies give a card a grade on a scale of 1 to 10. That's all it is. Cards in mint condition that are getting 9s and 10s usually command a much higher premium than anything below them. And they also tend to hold their value a whole lot better, especially the 10s. Maybe I'll make a video in the future about how to identify what card looks like it could gem and what card couldn't, but I've never been a grader, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna make that actually. There are also tons of great videos about this too. I personally am not going to give my input on this because I feel like everyone's different, and also grading I feel like is just so inconsistent to a certain degree that no matter what I say, I feel like people are just going to get mad and they're going to be like, oh, well, I checked and you said that the corners were the most important part. Do your own research. Use your own eyes, okay? And tied into grading is authentication, and I feel like this is really overlooked. People really just care about the grades, and obviously, if a card gets graded, that means it's also authenticated, but sometimes just being able to eyeball and authenticate a card is really important, particularly with Pokemon. I don't know about you guys, but when I got back into the hobby and I checked my Pokemon stash and I was going to sell a bunch of these cards, something just didn't look right. And, you know, the more research I did, the more I realized I got fleeced, okay? I got messed up at the lunchroom trading away all my valuable Pokemon cards for things that were not worth it at all. And now let's talk about selling your cards, hopefully for a profit. Online listings will be your best bet for reaching the widest audience, hands down. Like I was saying before, places like eBay and TCG Player for Pokemon are great ways to start. Make sure to use really detailed photos and also get a good market estimate of what the card is worth. You want your pricing to be competitive, but not to the point where you're undercutting yourself. If you're selling lots or doing mystery packs, make sure to be as descriptive as you can. People want to know what they're buying. And there are also tons of different platforms out there with a ton of different selling styles. If you like just like listing stuff and putting it up there and letting it sit, eBay is a great way to go about it. If you want to be more engaging with your audiences, there are apps like Whatnot where you can sell and kind of have a live auction and really talk and see who your clientele are. And if you want to be really people oriented, you can just set up at card shows. And also know when to stand your ground. Being flexible with prices can definitely help you close deals faster, but also could eat at your margin. The goal is to make money here, but it's okay to not make as much money on some cards if there's a benefit to it. Whether it's, making a new customer, helping out a friend. There's tons of different scenarios, but you don't have to get the maximum profit every single time. Nor will you. That will be something you will learn in due time. But at the end of the day, know your floor price and stick to it. Okay, keep yourself honest. And the last part I want to talk about is diversification and avoiding pitfalls. I know I kind of touched on it before, but really diversifying your portfolio is really important to being safe with your investment. You don't want to put all your money into a single card and then that card plummets and then you're left with nothing. When it comes to making a portfolio for sports cards, I look into the field of legends like Terry Bradshaw, Joe Namath, proven players like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and good young players or even rookies. Someone like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, guys that have a huge upside and have kind of already proven themselves so far in their career. For Pokemon, I'd stick to Wizards of the Coast type cards. Anything more vintage in more mint condition than not is really, really good. They don't print those sets anymore, and those sets aren't nearly as printed as today's sets are. When it comes to pitfalls, make sure to avoid scams. Bigger online platforms like eBay and TCG Player usually have a pretty good way of filtering that out and also getting your money back. God forbid there is a scam. But when it comes to buying stuff off of Instagram or Facebook Marketplace, make sure to use something like PayPal Goods and Services, something that protects you. God forbid you get something or don't get something at all. And always make sure to verify the authenticity of the seller themselves too, not just the cards. You can look at the cards and go, hey, that looks good, but if the seller looks sketchy, I just steer clear. Usually if a deal is too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And the last thing is this, the market is volatile, okay? Nothing is guaranteed, right? Your whole portfolio could be wiped away tomorrow. So only invest with money that you're willing to lose. It's very similar to gambling. People don't like to use that word in this hobby to a certain degree, but it's true. Only put in the amount of money you are okay with losing. Not saying you're going to, I hope you don't, but if you do, you won't be upset, you won't be financially ruining yourself, and you just move on. And there you have it, guys. The ultimate crash course in buying, selling, trading, flipping, sports, and Pokemon cards. Remember, this hobby requires patience, knowledge, research, and a bit of luck. Okay, but with dedication, you can turn this into a full-time thing or a great side hustle. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Hit the bell for notifications and comment down below what else you want to see next. But until next time, guys, I will catch you later. So peace.